Okay, one of the biggest questions that I have that come up is we've had quite a few people, they'll send in, they've had, past histories of civil criminal issues that have come up. And believe it or not, we can get some people through that have had either one of these. It depends on a lot of variables, and it depends on, what it was that you did, when you did it, did you pay for your crime? And, every type of civil and criminal issue is really different. And it could be something that could be a criminal issue in one country and then just laughed at in another country. Believe it or not, I mean, now things that are, if you were involved in drug trafficking, things like, selling arms to Iran, or, you're involved with some sort of, rape, murder, something like this, it depends on, how long ago it was. How much time did you spend in prison? Now, if you haven't spent time, paid for your time on things like that, I can tell you, you're going to get turned down. In fact, you'll probably get turned down anyway, even if that was a long time ago. It depends on the conditions. Like I say, the time you spent in jail, that has a lot to do with is the time you spent. If you spent time in prison, if you didn't spend time, there's a good likelihood we can get you through, even if it was a criminal offense. It just depends on what it is, okay? Now, obviously, there's some things that are totally laughed at. I mean, like, for instance, if you say something against the dictator in North Korea, that's a criminal offense. They can give you the death penalty in North Korea. I mean, that's not a criminal offense in the U.S. It's not a criminal offense in most countries in the world. But that being said, we have to look at each situation. If you're in Dubai and you say something against the royal family there, that's they can throw you in prison for that. They can throw you in prison for saying anything against the government in Dubai, okay, or UAE. So that in most places in the world they have freedom of speech. That's not a criminal offense, okay. Now what we do, let me tell you how we do this, okay. We do it confidentially for you. If you have an issue that's come up and you wonder, will I get a second passport and citizenship? Can I get that with my past? Well, what we do is we would have to actually take your records. We don't actually have to submit them to the government. We just actually call them and say, look, we got this guy, and he was involved with this, this, and this, and the date was this, and he did pay for his crime, whatever it was that you did, and did you pay for your crime? And we let them know that, and that can tell us ahead of time, what are the chances of you getting through? This is how we do that. Okay, and we do have people that can actually get through. I mean, it depends on so many factors, and the severity of it. It's like I've mentioned before in the past. Fornication was against the law in the U.S. for several hundred years, and I think it was back in the early 2000s they actually just pulled that out of the legal system, and I think they did because if they put everybody in jail that committed fornication, the jails would be busting over. But the point is, it was against the law to do that in the United States for years and years and years, and a lot of other countries too. A lot of countries will cut your head off for it. So it just depends on, but that is not going to be something that's going to keep you from getting citizenship, because obviously you're not going to get prosecuted in the USA for fornication. Now, obviously, I can tell you if it's done in a Middle Eastern country and it's a crime, they're going to look at that totally different in St. Kitts or any of the countries in the Caribbean where you're trying to get a second passport. That's not going to be viewed as a criminal offense. If they did, they'd be throwing everybody in the Caribbean in jail. Okay. Oh boy. So these are things that we have to look at each case individually and try to find out, what you've done. Also, folks, if you want to legally get your income taxes to zero, how to get a second passport, as quick as 45 days, 3 things. Hit the subscribe button on the right of your screen right here, and you get new videos automatically as they come out. And don't forget to hit the notification bell next to that subscribe button. And I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, just put it below. And also go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and hit the top bar that says apply with us. Fill out the questions. Hit that bottom bar that says send it to us. We'll get back with you. We deal with over 100 citizenship by investment and residency by investment countries all over the world. All right, so, we've got to look at the situation. We can do that without you paying government fees and things like this. And you really, if you've got something, folks, you need to bring this out ahead of time. I've seen people that we've never had anybody rejected because we try to fish out problems that people have before they submit the government fees, because if you submit the government fees and you don't bring this up on a problem that you got, and you don't present it on the application forms, and they pick it up later, okay, not only can you won't get your money back, but they can deport you and take your citizenship away. Totally, and you won't get any money back, okay? And this has happened, I've seen this happen with several people, okay, in St. Kitts. And it's always been for lying on the application forms. And it's almost every case it's done right after they get approved. It's not like 5 years later, okay? It's right after they get approved. So these are things that you really have to bring out ahead of time. Even if you think something's on the horizon and you have no problems yet, bring it out, okay? That way it's on the application forms. If they come out later, you can say, hey, here it is. I put it right here on the application form, okay? And y'all approve the form. And they're not going to come back later if you've exposed it on the application form and then it comes back later, okay? It's when that you left it off the application form and then all this stuff's coming back on top of the government where you're getting the passports from. And the government doesn't want this because it hurts the passport program, because these countries like the U.S. and other countries can lose visa-free travel. And St. Kitts doesn't have visa-free travel to the U.S., but I'm talking about, it depends on where you're getting. If you get Malta, it does have visa-free travel to the U.S. So we have to be careful and respect also these other countries, because they don't want to lose the visa-free status to these other countries that it hurts it for their citizens. So we have to be totally upfront on these applications. Anyway, folks, if you want to learn more on this, go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com. Hit the top bar that says apply with us, fill out the questions, send it back to us. And also don't forget to hit the subscribe button on the right of your screen right here. You get new videos automatically as they come out. And we'd like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, put it below, and I look forward to talking to you on the next video. Take care.